Tell me, child of God, what do you do when your spiritual fire fades? When you can't hear God and the flame that once burned in your soul flickers low? I am Elijah, the prophet who once called down fire from heaven, yet I too have known what it feels like when my spirit lays weak. I've stood on the heights of Mount Carmel, watching God's power consume the altar before all Israel. But I've also hidden in the wilderness, tired, afraid, and uncertain if I could go on. So I ask you again, how do you keep the fire of faith burning when your soul feels dry? First, start by remembering the source of the flame. The fire of faith is not man-made. You cannot buy it, nor can you borrow it from another. It is the breath of God within you. When I stood before the prophets of Baal, it wasn't confidence in myself that brought the flame. It was my confidence in the Lord, who answers by fire. I said, "If the Lord is God, follow him." 1 Kings 18:21. When your world feels dry and your spirit weary, go back to your altar, the place of prayer, the place of surrender. Rebuild it stone by stone with repentance, humility, and trust. Pour water over it if you must, your tears, your doubts, your struggles, and wait upon the Lord, for the same God who sent fire once will send it again. The fire burns where there is sacrifice. Keep giving him your heart. Second, recognize God's voice in the silence. After the fire fell, I ran into a cave, weary from fear, chased by Jezebel's threats. There I begged God to take my life. I thought his voice would come again with thunder or flame. But it didn't. There was a great wind, yet God was not in the wind. There was an earthquake, yet God was not in the shaking. Then a fire, yet God was not in the blaze. And after the fire came a still small voice. 1 Kings 19:11-12. Do you hear that, my friend? Sometimes God whispers because he's close. In your darkest hour, he is not absent. He is intimate. When the world is loud with fear and chaos, listen for the whisper. It is not the noise of miracles that sustains you. It's the quiet knowing that he is still God, even when the heavens are silent. So when your prayers feel unanswered, don't stop praying. When the sky seems empty, don't stop looking up. The silence isn't punishment, it's preparation. God is shaping your spirit to hear him, not just see him. Third, feed the fire through faithful obedience. The flame of faith grows through obedience. One step at a time, God told me to go to the widow of Zarephath. And though the journey seemed foolish, I obeyed. There, in a house with empty jars and fading hope, God performed miracles daily. The flour never ran out, and the oil never failed. Faith is not just believing God can, it's obeying him before you see that he will. In dark times, don't wait for the fire to return before you move. Move as if the fire never left. Serve, pray, give, love, forgive, even when you feel nothing. Because faith that moves in silence is the kind that makes the heavens speak again. Lastly, the call to burn. Again, child of God, the drought may be long, the silence may be heavy, but your flame is not gone. It's just waiting for new breath. When Elijah stood again on the mountain, he wrapped his mantle around his face, not to hide, but to honor the presence of God. And from that moment, his mission was renewed. So I say to you, wrap yourself again in faith, return to your altar, listen for his whisper, and when you rise, rise as one whose heart burns not from emotion, but from encounter. The same fire that fell on Mount Carmel, the same power that lit the hearts of prophets, still burns today in those who refuse to let darkness define them. So keep the fire, feed it with faith, guard it with prayer, and let the world see through your light that the God who whispers in the silence still answers by fire.